Have you ever stopped to think about why you picked that specific product at the store, clicked on what seemed like a random ad, or decided to buy something that wasn't even on your radar? You might think it was a spontaneous, rational decision. But what if I told you that, more often than not, those choices weren't entirely yours? That behind the scenes, a silent game is shaping your decisions. Big brands aren't just selling products, they're selling feelings, status, and belonging. And to do that, they use advanced persuasion techniques that speak directly to your brain, often without you realizing it. It's like planting tiny ideas disguised as choices, which bloom right when you're most vulnerable. It's not witchcraft or hypnosis, it's science. Neuroscience applied to marketing. The same science that studies emotions, behavior, and habits is used to build campaigns that are nearly irresistible. And the more automated your daily routine is, the more predictable you become, making it easier to be influenced. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain. We'll show you exactly how neuromarketing works, the tools it uses, and, most importantly, how you can break free from impulse and take back control of your decisions. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about consuming less, but consuming smarter. Understanding how we're persuaded means looking inward, quite literally. The human brain is a powerful machine, but also highly programmable. When it comes to purchasing decisions, it's not as logical as we like to think. In fact, 3 core systems influence your choices: the reptilian brain, the limbic system, and the neocortex. The reptilian brain is all about survival. It responds to fear, safety, and comfort. The limbic system, which controls emotions, responds to connection, empathy, and pleasure. Finally, the neocortex is your rational side, the part that explains decisions that were often made before you even realized it. And this is exactly where neuromarketing steps in. It activates the first 2 systems before reason even shows up. A classic example: the sound of a promotional notification on your phone. Your brain instantly links that sound to the thrill of a reward. Your body reacts. You act. The colors in an ad, a model smile, that bold, "Only today" button, all of it is designed to trigger quick reactions. Your brain doesn't analyze each piece. It feels. And when it feels, it decides. So, the more automatic the process, the easier it is to be guided. But don't worry, understanding this mechanism is the first step to flipping the script. And in the next section, we'll explore how this is done masterfully through what we call mental triggers. If the brain responds more to what it feels than what it thinks, then the key to persuasion lies in triggering the right emotions at the right time. That's where mental triggers come in, psychological shortcuts that guide decision-making. When used well, they cut down analysis time and dramatically boost conversions. The most common is scarcity. Phrases like "limited stock" or "only until midnight" tap into the fear of missing out. Then there's social proof. Over 10,000 people have already bought. Your brain reads that as validation. If so many others chose it, it must be good. Another is authority. When a specialist, influencer, or celebrity recommends something, your resistance drops. Reciprocity is also powerful. You receive a freebie and feel inclined to give back by buying. And urgency, closely tied to scarcity, pressures you into making quick, unthinking decisions. These triggers aren't magic, they're strategic. They're based on universal human behavior, tested and refined over time. And when used subtly and in combination, they form an almost invisible web of persuasion. The issue isn't that they exist, but how and why they're used. And once you start recognizing them in your daily life, things shift. In the next chapter, you'll see how even the environment where you shop is carefully crafted to reinforce these decisions. Now that you understand mental triggers, it's time to look at the stage where they perform, the environment. Yes, the physical or digital space where you shop is intentionally designed to guide your decisions. It's called decision architecture. And nothing about it is random. In supermarkets, high-margin products are placed at eye level. Candy and gum are by the checkout, right where waiting makes you more vulnerable. Online, it's the same game. The Buy Now button is large, warm-colored, and prominent. The old price is crossed out, the new one is highlighted. Countdown timers create urgency. And once again, your brain goes into autopilot. This setup doesn't just influence what you buy, it shapes how and when you buy. The page doesn't present all your options neutrally. It guides you. It nudges, filters, hides, and highlights. It speaks to your brain before your logic can even kick in. But here's the turning point: once you see the design, you start to look differently. What used to feel natural now reveals a pattern. The choice is still yours, but now, you're choosing with greater awareness. In the next section, we'll go even deeper and uncover how your brain's own reward system, led by dopamine, is being leveraged to keep you coming back for more. Because yes, there's pleasure involved. And yes, addiction too. Behind every click, every purchase, every "just want more," there's a powerful chemical called dopamine. This neurotransmitter is directly linked to pleasure and reward. And neuromarketing knows exactly how to tap into it. It's not just selling products, it's selling chemical experiences. When you see a discount notification, a shiny button, or free shipping for a limited time, your brain immediately starts releasing dopamine. It's the same reward system triggered by food, social media, even gambling. You feel a small rush, and you act. And once the reward hits, dopamine reinforces the behavior: do it again. The cycle repeats. And the more often it happens, the more automatic it becomes. Before you even notice, you're chasing that pleasurable feeling, even if the product itself isn't all that necessary. That's what we call impulse buying, now with a neurochemical backing. And here's the interesting part: often, the biggest hit of pleasure doesn't come from owning the item, but from anticipating it. The moment you click buy might feel better than the product arriving. That's the catch: you start consuming emotions, not things. This isn't about weakness or lack of control. It's biology being leveraged. But simply knowing this is already half the battle. Because in the next chapter, the question shifts: is it possible to use all of this ethically? Or is neuromarketing just manipulation in disguise? After everything we've seen so far, the question naturally arises: can these techniques be used ethically? Or is neuromarketing, by definition, a form of manipulation? The truth, as with most things, lies in the intention behind the use. Some brands push these tools to sell at any cost, tapping into anxiety, neediness, or impulsiveness. But others use the same mechanisms to encourage healthier decisions, support donations, promote mindful consumption, or drive social causes. Take vaccine campaigns that use social proof: millions have already been vaccinated. Or apps that reward small sustainable actions, like biking instead of driving or saving electricity. In those cases, dopamine is fueling something good. Ethics enters the equation when there's transparency and responsibility. When the goal isn't to trick, but to guide. The problem isn't the science, it's the abuse of trust. The same mental trigger that saves lives in a donation drive can also push people into debt through a can't-miss deal. For marketers, this is a call to conscience. For consumers, a reminder: not all persuasion is negative, but every decision should be informed. Now that you understand how this all works, from brain chemistry to ad campaigns, it's time to flip the script. In the final chapter, we'll talk about how to disable these triggers and take back control of your mind, your money, and your choices. Now that you've seen the backstage of neuromarketing, it becomes clear: being a conscious consumer doesn't mean disconnecting from the world or never buying anything again. It means taking back control. And that starts with one simple habit: pause before you act. When you spot a trigger, scarcity, urgency, exclusivity, take a breath and ask, do I really need this right now? That tiny moment of reflection can already slow down the impulse. Another powerful strategy: compare before you commit. Just leaving the platform where the offer appeared is enough to break the automatic loop. Watch your patterns. What time of day do you tend to shop? What emotions are usually present? Anxiety, boredom, or the need to fill a void are often behind impulsive decisions. Recognizing that is a huge step toward freedom. And for professionals in the field, the message is clear: it's possible to sell well without manipulating. When the message is honest, the value is real, and the impact is positive, the connection with the audience is lasting. In the end, the goal isn't to start a war against marketing, but to play the game wisely. Because information empowers. And the more you know, the harder it is to be misled. If this content made sense to you, share it with someone who also deserves to see beyond the storefront. And remember, the brain can be programmed, but the power of choice is still, and always will be, in your hands. If you made it this far, congrats, you're already several steps ahead of most people. Understanding how neuromarketing works in your daily life isn't just about curiosity, it's a way to protect yourself. Not from brands themselves, but from automatic decisions that don't represent who you are. Being a strategic consumer doesn't mean turning off your feelings, it means learning to think with them. It means knowing when a flashing red button is just a visual trick, and when your emotion is genuinely real. With time, that becomes habit. A new default mode. If this video helped you see consumption in a new light, leave a comment below. Tell us, which mental trigger do you notice most in your daily life? And of course, if you want to keep exploring the hidden links between the mind and the market, subscribe to the channel and share this video with someone who's still stuck on autopilot. You've already woken up. Now help someone else do the same.